Hello everybody. There is no doubt that the modicum of effort and patience needed to learn vocabulary is richly and diversely rewarded. Here I am just trying to provide you an alternative possibility for learning vocabulary because when people see an alternative possibility, they feel inspired and enthused. A kind of courage, hope, and confidence comes into play to act in a proper direction. So, once again, I will begin with the work. The first word for today is defray. Defray. Defray means to undertake the payment of cost or expenses. To pay. Example: her employer offered to defray the costs of her post graduation. I got a job to help defray the cost of my college loans. Actually, in modern times, the cost of education is so high that most people have to take loans, and it is the sole responsibility of the individual who is getting educated to defray that loan because the loan is taken on their behalf. Next word is defrock. Defrock. Defrock means to strip a priest, a minister of church authority. Example: we knew the minister had violated church regulations, but we had not realized his offense was serious enough to cause him to be defrocked. Next word is deft. Deft. Deft means neat, skillful. Example: the deft waiter uncorked the champagne without spilling a drop. An Olympic medalist is deft in competition. Next word is defunct. Defunct. Defunct means dead, no longer in use or existence. Example: the lawyer sought to examine the books of the defunct corporation. The dinosaurs that once roamed the earth are defunct. Next word is degenerate. Degenerate. Degenerate means to become worse, deteriorate. Example: as the fight dragged on, the champion's style degenerated until he could barely keep on his feet. Actually, this example is related with martial art forms. In martial art forms, two people fight in the ring, and after a passage of time, it is really very difficult to keep on feet because of the high breath rate. Another example: the physicist was studying degenerate matter. Next word is degraded. Degraded. Degraded means lowered in rank, debased. Example: the degraded wretch spoke only of his past glories and honors. Due to the degradation of the economy, the spending habit of the American people have potentially changed forever, and excessive spending on luxury items may no longer be a trend. Next word is dehydrate. Dehydrate. Dehydrate means to remove water from, to dry out. Example: Vigorous dancing quickly dehydrates the body. Between dances, be sure to drink more water than normal. Next word is deify. Deify. Deify means turn into a god or idolize. Example: admire the rock star all you want, just don't defy him. It is not wise to defy a human being, they are not gods. Actually, in past cultures, there was trend to defy mortals as gods. So reference to that particular thing is made in the example. Next word is Dean. Dign. Dean means condescend, show feelings or superiority, do something in a haughty way. Example: he felt that he would debase himself if he deigned to answer his critics. The young girls were surprised that the older girls deigned to talk to them. Next word is deleterious. Deleterious. Deleterious means harmful. Example: the workers in radioactive nuclear research must avoid the deleterious effects of radioactive substances. The deleterious effects of smoking include having greater risk of heart disease, stroke, and lung cancer. Next word is deliberate. Deliberate. Deliberate means consider, ponder, think about something carefully. Deliberate also means unhurried. Example: offered the new job, she asked for time to deliberate before she made her decision. The committee had to deliberate on which was the best proposal for the new equipment. Ministers agreed to deliberate talks on the matter in the parliament. Next word is delineate. Delineate. Delineate means portray, depict, or sketch. Example: he is weakest when he attempts to delineate character. The state must delineate the environmental responsibilities of chemical companies. On maps, different colors are used to delineate the territories of countries and states. Next word is delirium. Delirium. Delirium means mental disorder marked by confusion. Example: the drunkard in his delirium saw strange animals. Next example: after taking the drugs, he was in a state of delirium. Next word is delta. Delta. You all must be familiar with delta. Delta is a flat plain of mud or sand between branches of river or at the end where the river meets the sea. Example: his dissertation discussed the effect of intermittent flooding on the fertility of Nile Delta. Soil in delta region is considered very fertile. Next word is delude. Delude. Delude means deceive. Example: do not delude yourself into believing that he will relent. Another example, she deluded herself into thinking that he cared about her. Jason was deluded into thinking his friends cared about him and not his money. Next word is deluge. Deluge. Deluge means flood, rush. Example, when we advertised the position, we received a deluge of applications. The sprinkling of rain quickly became a deluge. When we got to the bridge, we were surprised by the deluge. Next word is delusion. Delusion. Delusion means false belief. Hallucination. Now, what is a hallucination? An experiencing involving the perception of something which is not present. Example, this scheme is a snare and a delusion. A snare is a trap for catching birds or animals. Another example, he had delusions that he was going to become a rich man without doing anything. Next word is delve. Delve. Delve means dig, investigate. Example, delving into old books and manuscript is part of a researcher's job. Investigators decided to delve further into the corporation's financial records. Divers were hired to delve into the mysteries of the underwater caverns. Next word is demagogue. Demagogue. Demagogue means person who appeals to people's prejudice. It means false leader. Dema means people and agog means leader. Okay, so demagogue means false leader. It is constructed by etymology. Example, he was accused of being a demagogue because he made promises that aroused futile hopes in his listeners. Hitler was a famous demagogue who manipulated an entire nation with his passionate oratory, playing on their prejudices to achieve power. Next word is demean. Demean. Demean means degrade, humiliate. Example, he felt that he would demean himself if he replied to the scurrilous letter. Students demean this graduation ceremony with inappropriate behavior. Next word is demeanor. Demeanor. Demeanor means behavior, bearing. Example, his sober demeanor quieted the noisy revelers. The man was arrested because of his strange demeanor when he entered the bank. Many sailors have been disciplined for their demeanor while on shore leave. Next word is demented. Demented. Demented means insane. In a state of mind that prevents normal perception or behavior. Seriously mental ill is also called demented. Example, she became increasingly demented and had to be hospitalized. Another example, persons became incarcerated in mental institutions because they exhibit behaviors which have been deemed by society to be demented. Incarcerated means to imprison or confine in a closed place. Another example, sadly, her friends said she had Alzheimer's when actually she was demented. Next word is demise. Demise. Demise means death. Upon the demise of the dictator, a bitter dispute about succession of power developed. Her demise was sudden. Next word is demographic. Demographic. Demographic means related to population balance. Example, in conducting a survey, one should take into account demographic trends in the region. Another example, the elderly actor's attempt to reach a younger demographic proved to be embarrassing. Next word is demolition. Demolition. Demolition means destruction. Example, one of the major aims of the Air Force was the complete demolition of all means of transportation by the bombing of rail lines and the terminals. The demolition site was quite dangerous. Next word is demoniac. Demoniac. Demoniac means like a demon, fiendish, extremely cruel or unpleasant, devilish. Example, the Spanish Inquisition devised many demonic means of torture. It seemed as if Jack's demonic little sister had struck Lucy again. Next word is demotic. Demotic. Demotic means pertaining to the people. Example, he lamented the passing of aristocratic society and maintained that a demotic society would lower the nation's standards. Next word is demur. Dumur. Demur means to delay, to object something. Example, to demur at this time will only worsen the already serious situation. Now is the time for action. If the principal proposes to cut out physical education, parents and teachers alike are sure to demur. Students gathered to demur the hike in fees. Next word is demure. Demure. Demure means grave, serious, coy. Coy means shy by nature or of shy nature. So demure means grave, serious or coy. Example, she was demure and reserved. Another example, despite her demure appearance, she is a competitive speed skater, always ready for a challenge on ice. Next word is denigrate. Denigrate. Denigrate means blacken. Example, all attempts to denigrate the character of our late president have failed. The people still love him and cherish his memory. Another example, he has done everything in his power to blacken my name. He denigrates me repeatedly. He tried to denigrate his white hairs by applying hair dye. Next word is denizen. Denizen. Denizen means inhabitant of or resident of. Example: ghosts are denizens of the land of the dead who return to earth. Another example: the denizens of the corner bar were unfriendly toward strangers. Next word is denotation. Denotation. Denotation means meaning, distinguishing by name. Actually, the dictionaries that you have for words are only giving the denotation of the words, telling the meaning, and the words are distinguished by the name or spelling. Example: a dictionary will always give us the denotation of a word. Frequently, it will always give us its connotations too. Example: the denotation of home is a place where one lives. However, the there is a plethora of connotations of this word, like cozy or comfortable or safe, etc. Actually, these feelings are felt when we are at home. Next word is denouement. Denouement. Denouement means outcome, final development of a plot or other literary work. Example: the reform candidate, sorry, the play was childishly written. The denouement was obvious to sophisticated theatre goers as early as the middle of the first act. Another example: there are many twists and turns and a dramatic denouement at the end. Most novels have a exciting and thrilling denouement. So this was the last word for today. Thank you.